Hello, welcome back to My Messy Fingers. I'm Charlie. We are now on signature number 3 for our album, The Beach is Calling. And I've got it pretty much laid out, and I think I've got everything inked and for the most part taped. This is going to be a double open. We're going to use a couple of cards. I've backed this one onto some cardstock, and then I picked another one that I'm going to back here so there can be some journaling. And it's going to be the gatekeeper. It's going to slide right in here and hold these two pieces together. We're going to play with some chipboard pieces. These are the two that I selected, added a little bit of string to them. You certainly can use whichever ones you would prefer. And then in the sticker packet, I am using both of these. I've backed them on chipboard, and they're going to go up here up at the top. Now I have some moving parts here, so I clipped them together so that they weren't all over the place. In the inside, which is where I really want to start first, we're going to have a bottom pocket. And we're going to take one of the chipboard frames and we're going to sit it up here, and we're going to glue tape only two sides of it so that a photo can be slid in there. And then I am using one of the brass pieces as a little corner decoration. And then the chipboard piece that you can feed some ribbon through. So I'm using some of the gold ribbon that came with my paper collection. It's this here, and it will stretch across. Now I did take the flowers. I find this piece is a little bit, for me, too big. These are more the size I like to kind of play with when I'm putting things together. So I thought what I would do is I would somewhat center them in here, and then I found this sand dollar. I'm going to use that as the center for this flower, and then this is going to come across like so that the flowers are an accent behind this piece. Your base piece came from the 12 by 12 collection, and it measures 7 3/4 by 7 1/2. And then this pocket piece, I do believe, is at 2 1/2 inches by 7 1/2. And then from my scraps, I selected this piece. It's the reverse of this, but you certainly have enough scraps that you can pick and choose what you want to see down here. And then the floral pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put this assembly together because when we get into this, I've got lots of flaps going and I don't want to get things askew. So I am going to start with taping this down and getting this set in the base. Now I corner rounded the flaps, 1/2 inch corner round. So if you want to get that out, if you don't already have it out, so that we can take care of that here in a minute. Going on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this piece in. Glue tip is... Oh no. The last time this started, I had a lot of trouble with it. And I try really hard to keep this sealed up. So now I'm going to kind of eyeball this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and glue in the sand dollar. And I'm going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together. And then I want to place this one right about here. And then I want this one just about, make sure I got this piece centered in here, just about right there. And then I'm going to tape this down. It's a heavier piece. I do have ribbon, and I'm going to have the ribbon stationary so it's not sliding around. So I'll get this going here. Get this across here, and now I'm going to tape down the whole piece. I'm using, this ribbon's about 3/8 of an inch wide, so that's the tape I'm using. Got this piece that's just kind of floating around on me and my scissors. It's hung up on me here. Okay, let's see here now. Okay, gonna center that. Oops, and then I'll trim the excess off. Now I'm going to put the frame in. And I left the top open so that you could put your photo in there, and it will snug. If you use 1/4 inch tape, you might be able to slide it in under the frame a little bit, but I think that using the 3/8 inch tape, it should sit in there nice and tight. And then if you want, you can come in with a little dab of glue and seal that down so it locks your photo in. Now I'm going to use some glossy accents to solidify this onto the paper. Come on. There we go. Now I always seem to drop these things when I go to turn them over, so I'm coming off my paper. Okay, just gonna pop that in there, just a little slant. Now while I finish up the rest of this, that should glue in place. All right, now I'm going to start with the right side panels. Okay, this piece, which is going to be the top flap, is going to measure at 4 3/8 across, and then you're going to score it at 1/2, and then you're going to score it again at 5/8. And yes, it's 7 3/4 tall because it will always be the height of your signature. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in. Now, I want to come right up to that first score line when I put this in. And then we're going to have a second piece, and then round your corners. A second piece is going to measure at 4 inches, and you're going to score it at 1/2. And then this is going to come in here, right here, on this piece here. See, this is kind of where I get what was my plan. Okay, this piece here, these are from a 12 by 12, and then I just simply cut them to fit in each of the spot. And on the 12 by 12, there was enough to make 2 panels. So we're going to have 2 matching panels through here, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Okay. And then when this opens, I wanted that piece, which came from the 8 by 8 collection. You can tell because it's smaller than the base piece. And then this piece, which is from the 8 by 8 collection, based on the size of the swimming suits. So these are going to get glued into place. We have quite a bit of scrap sitting over here, at least I do. Cutting between the 12 by 12s and the 8 by 8s, there's a nice pile collecting. So I think we're going to need to do a waterfall in order to absorb some of that. I hate to see scraps go to waste. And if you're using 12 by 12 cardstock, you've also got some fairly large pieces that you have sitting over in a stockpile. So I think it's time on the next signature we're going to do a waterfall. Okay, so this beige piece is going to go to the outside. No magnets on this one. All right, now we're going to go over here and repeat that process. So should be the same measurements. So you're going to have a piece over here that's going to be measuring in at 4 1/2. You're going to score it at 1/2, and then you're going to score it at 5/8. And we're going to put some tape on here. And put it in place. Same process, just come right up to that 1/2 inch score line, but not on it. All right. Now, this piece, which again measures at 4 inches with a score at a 1/2 inch. And once you rounded your corners, it will sit right in here. My page is a little bit crooked. Let's see if I can straighten it out here. Okay. So this piece, because when it opens up, it will match. I've got to also say that there is so much paper. I got the full package from Scrap and Create that I think there's going to be enough left over to do a small folio. So I'm leaning in that direction with some of the leftover papers. And then again, when you open this up, you're going to have the blue dots next to your base panel. And then this piece. And again, this came out of the 8x8 pad. So when you let me put this piece down before I walk through that. All right, so what you should have, oh, what happened here? Oh, goodness sakes. I did not get that on there very straight. That's why it was crooked. So bear with me just 2 shakes while I do a mend on this. This is embarrassing. See, and I glued that one piece in. Oh my gosh. That's going to be a mess, but I think I can salvage it. All right, let's see, what do I have to do in here to mend this? Yeah, I thought I was being a smarty and thought that I had placed that in there nice and straight, but obviously I didn't, so it's fixed. All right, so front of your signature, open it up and we have this diamond pattern, and then you open it up again and you have the little huts with the dots, And then you've got the big huts here. So this is your 12 by 12. These are your 8 by 8s. And these are your 8 by 8s. This all came from scraps. And then here's your ephemera. And then a piece of framework. Now when we close this, you're going to cut a piece that's 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and then you're going to cut it on the diagonal, and then these are going to go here in their respective corners. Now we've rounded the corners, so you're going to need to round these just slightly so that you don't have points sticking out there. And I am going to tape the edges because I don't want glue seeping in to the pocket. Okay. Start right here at the edge and then come to the corner. And then I'm going to do the same here. Right, and then we're going to start here on that corner, the edge. I have a little tape overhang, so I'm going to take care of that just by rolling it under. All right, so then we have these pieces, which add a little bit of color to the front. And again, I just slightly rounded their edges so that there wasn't a sharp point. Get the lid back on that. All right, now these two out of your sticker packet, I'm just going to place right here just a little bit off the top. That looks to me just too controlled. I like to have a little bit of space in there. I don't know if that's a good way to describe that, but just a little bit off center gives something else for the eye to look at least for me. All right, now these two, I just kind of want to put them in here just a little bit. Again, at a slant rather than do this routine. I want them in here just a little bit at a slant. So I'm just going to kind of glue where I think I need to be. And put some string on them. My string wants to come apart here. Okay. And again, add a slant just a little bit. And now we will work on this piece. Not much to it really. Just going to glue a couple of sides. Now you have several of these, several options what to use, so you don't necessarily have to use the same ones I'm using. Okay, and then this is just going to simply slide right in there, and that's your gatekeeper. So that is the completion of the signature for number 3, but we need to get it in our album. So let's turn it over and let's get some tape on the back side. Now I can see one of the petals is hanging down here, so I think I'm going to sneak in there and snip that off. It's on the base, so it's no biggie. And we're going to add a couple here in the center. Now when I place this in here, I'm going to want to come right up to this, take my gusset end and come right up to the paper, to your page end, and then that should leave you at approximately a 1/4 of an inch here on this end, so that this can turn over without any real true struggle. Okay, but I am going to turn it this way. And then I'm going to center it top to bottom, come right up to this edge, and lay it down, give it a push so that I can and I'm going to tape off the rest. See if I can bend this a little bit so I can get in here and get this out. Let me burnish. Almost forgot. All right. There you go. We are done with signature 3, and we'll be back on the next video to do signature number 4. See you then.